Hi, I'm Marta from Corks and Screw Caps. Riesling, pronounced Riesling, is a superb quality white grape and indigenous to Germany. Riesling is grown in many parts of the world, but it produces the best quality wine from cooler climates. It's high acid and, for the most part, lower in alcohol than other white grapes, and has aromas and flavors of apricots, peaches, pears, and petrol when mature or when well made. Quality samples will display characteristics called petrol. While this might seem counterintuitive, this is a unique aroma and flavor that is highly prized among Rieslings and can be found in quality representations of this grape. It's not an offensive aroma and flavor, but rather a highly unique aroma and flavor to Riesling, and is quite pleasant with a very remote connection to the aroma of gasoline. Try to keep an open mind. It'll be worth your while. Riesling does not take well to oak, so if you see an oak representation anywhere, run as fast as you can in the other direction. Riesling can vary in sweetness and body, from bone dry and very light body to intensely sweet and viscous, and from a almost water white to a pale greenish or intense yellow color. Warm regions provide wines with less flavor and are typically lower in acid, so they don't usually make age-worthy wines. Riesling from Germany is high in acid, so it's able to age and develop richer, more complex flavor for a very long time, often decades. The high acid also makes them able to produce superb sweet wines because there's enough acid to balance any remaining residual sugar, what we say RS. Without the high acidity, the wines would be syrupy and distasteful. If you don't believe me, here's an interesting experiment to prove my point. It's called reverse lemonade experiment. So what you do is heat 1/4 cup of sugar and 3/4 water to melt the sugar and let it cool. The taste will be like sugary, syrupy water. Then add 2 tablespoons of lemon juice and taste again. You will then understand the sugar to acidity concept immediately. The Mosel River region is the most sought after, famous region for the finest wine, along with the area of Mosel-Saar-Ruwer, where the Mosel, Saar, and Ruwer rivers converge. However, Rheingau and Pfalz also produce good Rieslings. Due to climate change, you'll find more dry German Rieslings than in past years, although there's almost always a sense of dry fruitiness to German Rieslings, very characteristic of the grape variety itself. You'll find the Rhine, Hessen, and Nahe for possibly higher alcohol and drier wines at around 13.5% alcohol, which is high alcohol for a German Riesling. German Riesling is classified in terms of ripeness and sweetness levels, starting with Cabinet, Spätlese, Auslese, Beerenauslese, and Trockenbeerenauslese. I know that's a mouthful. The ripeness level, and thus the sweetness level, ranges from slightly sweet to very rich and sweet, all balanced by an appropriate level of acidity so the wines are not cloyingly sweet. They can also be affected by a specific type of mold called Botrytis, which imparts a very specific, unique, and highly desirable flavor to wines. This also sounds counterintuitive, but moldy grapes never tasted so good, believe me. Beerenauslese and Trockenbeerenauslese levels of ripeness and sweetness are the only German wines affected by Botrytis. Eiswein is a special production of Riesling grapes that are actually not picked until they are fully frozen on the vine. These grapes are used to make the very famous and costly Eiswein, which is a delicacy known throughout the world. Both Germany and Austria are the only 2 countries in the world that classify their wines in terms of ripeness levels. There are some minor differences in the classifications of Austrian Rieslings, but they are very similar to German classifications. German Rieslings alone can also indicate the sweetness level by the level of ABV, alcohol by volume. An alcohol level of 8% is going to be slightly sweeter or sweeter than an alcohol level of 11 to 12%. Halbtrocken will also indicate a sweetness level to wine. This is characteristic labeling on German Rieslings alone. If you are looking for a dry German Riesling, it will be labeled as trocken. If it's not labeled as such, it's best to assume it has some level of sweetness to it. If in doubt, ask your wine purveyor. If they don't know the answer, I always say, change your wine shop to a store that really understands wine. Rieslings from Alsace are bone dry, fuller in body, and more minerally than German Rieslings. They are produced in northeast France with the cooling influence of the Vosges Mountains. They are not classified by the ripeness and sweetness levels like German Rieslings. In short, these wines are completely different than their German counterparts. They're more minerally in style and almost always dry. So if you're looking for a bone dry, refreshingly bright wine, this is the Riesling to go for. Riesling from Washington State, since the United States is a New World producer, indicates the grape variety clearly on the label, so there's no confusion. The wine will be fruity with flavors of dried apricots and peaches and lower acidity than their German counterparts. These are easier drinking wines and not so age-worthy as their German counterparts, and they come in a wide range of sweetness levels, from medium, dry to sweet and medium sweet. For tasting notes and wine pairings, go to our website at www.corksandscrewcaps.com. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below to get our weekly notifications of new episodes. If you found value in our content and know someone who shares your passion for wine, we have a special request for you. Help us grow our wine-loving community by referring your friends to our channel. Like and share this video with other wine lovers. Prost!